This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. Hi, this is Joe Rabil. Going to give you a stock market update, and we finally got a little bit of selling, but I think it's actually really important to talk about what the way this is setting up. It looks to me like things are starting to tire out a little bit. I'm going to go into the details on that when we get into the individual time frames. I'm going to start out with the market conditions, and we got to make sure we stay on top of these. We'll come in one week and we'll start to see something pretty blatant developing. But we want to talk about the most recent action, and I think that'll be pretty important. Before we get into that, just so you're aware, if you want to learn more about these techniques, I would suggest starting with my book. It's at rabilstockresearch.com/book. Also, if you do enjoy this content, please hit the like button and also subscribe. Okay, let's start out with the sentiment, which did drop somewhat. A few less bulls this week. I would say I'm actually on the lookout for, a continued climb. It's, a little bit more of a climb. Now, we might pull back first, so we'll go through that in a minute. But I'm thinking that, maybe we pull back and then push higher. And what I'm looking for is too much bullishness. We had the signal of too many bears, right, at the bottom. And now I'm kind of looking for the flip side of that. Anything else is probably just, this is not all that helpful. It's just kind of in the neutral camp, and I'm still keeping it there. We're rallying back up to the overbought area on the RSI 5 on the weekly. Haven't officially done that. I've still got this on the neutral end, but it is closer to negative. I'm going to show you in a second. When we look at the RSI, you can actually see, I'm going to show it on both the daily and the weekly. We've made a lower high in price here, but if you notice, we're actually making a higher high in the RSI. So it's a little bit of a reverse divergence potentially. So anyway, we'll get into that in a second. The volatility has not changed. In fact, none of these have changed. We still have a bullish trend for the monthly and the daily. The weekly is neutral, and then we have neutral trends for the monthly and the daily, and the weekly is still negative in terms of the momentum. All right, let's take a hard look at this now. What I wanted to point out that I think is kind of interesting is that we've created this little mini divergence here at this high, and we're talking about, you see all this resistance up here, right? It's just easier to see on this chart. You can see all these multiple highs that were in place at this point, and then we've made this marginal new high, right? And we do it with a little RSI divergence on a daily, which is not a big deal. It's not, you get a little 5 RSI divergence. It could just mean a day and a half. It doesn't have to mean anything meaningful. But we do have a little bit of a reverse divergence here that has developed on the RSI 5 on the weekly. You can see that we still have low volatility. So if we can pull back with low volatility, I think that would be a really good sign. If the volatility spikes, if we get a pop here as we're pulling back, then we're probably forming a trading range. So just something to look for. If you notice, we pulled back to the 18, pushed to a new high, but then didn't have any follow through. And again, I think we're getting into some resistance. Now, when I get to the other charts, you'll see really what I'm talking about when it comes to the momentum and everything. All right, now if you notice what's going on the weekly volatility, it is starting to come down some. I still think we have to live through some type of a consolidation that is a low volatility consolidation that causes this to roll over and turn down. I just don't think this is in a really good position to break out. If it were to break out from here without any kind of a retracement with high volatility still, I would be looking for failure. That's what I just wouldn't think that we'd get a lot of follow through. It doesn't mean that we can't push up into that level. I'm just kind of thinking that it is the likelihood of it breaking out and continuing higher without some kind of an interruption or consolidation is a little less likely. And just before I switch, you can see this 18 on the weekly. You see how it definitely needs to pause in here and let this cup around a little bit. If we push higher with this still declining, you leave that opening in there. And again, that typically means that you shouldn't expect follow through. All right, I want to switch over and Nothing's really changed on the monthly chart. We're still in the same position. We have that spike reversal at the 50% retracement, which is around 5,000 on the S&P. Closed back above the 18, so it's still rising. Had follow through last month. And then this month we're pushing up, but having a little bit of a struggle in the same area where we've struggled here around 600. And you can see why. The MACD is kind of acting as a short-term anchor here, right? I mean, it's almost like when you try and push higher when this is rolled down, it's just pulling it down a little bit. I think it's more likely when we come back down and test this area. And the ADX is still confirming that last high. I don't have a problem with this bigger picture pattern. I just think, in the short term, we could use a pullback. Now, I've been saying the same thing. I don't really like this pattern in both the MACD and the ADX. I mean, they're not in a really strong position to have big follow through to the upside. Doesn't mean we can't keep carrying in the short term, but this isn't really the type of position where I expect this start of a big bull move to take place. All right. But if we look at what's taking place on the daily, this is the chart that's the most interesting to me this week. So we've got the 4 and the 18 running parallel in this direction. And they're not really, I mean, it's a tough one. It's not, the counter parallel lines trade pattern that I talk about in my course, it's kind of developing that way, and it's basically below the signal line. Usually I like to see it where these lines are kind of like dropping down together and there's a little bit of an opening there. But what confirms this counter parallel line signal to me is the fact that we've got no follow through in green DI. I mean, this is pulling this same problem where we can't make a new high here. So it's not really strong action. When I look at this, it's just, so we get the big move to the downside, right, with ADX confirmation on the bearish side. And now we've made move up, pull back, move up, minor pullback, move up, minor pullback, and now we've made another move. And you can't get the ADX to do anything. I mean, I think there's been enough time here for this to go and get this ADX going if it were strong enough. It's just not that, the internal movement is not that strong. And the reason why, you can go and see deep pullback, red DI, right? This is red. So this is red DI. This is red DI. That's red DI. All this red DI along the way, and you can't get that ADX going. Right, so you keep getting these pushes in red DI, and that is showing that it's not like the sellers are that strong. It's that the buyers are just not all that convinced. All right, so I think the closer we get to the 6,000 area, the bigger the problem seems to be. So what does that mean, this parallel line signal with a minor new high? Well, I think what we want to do is be on the lookout for a signal on the hourly chart. And I think the best way to handle this is to draw in our trend line here and watch for a trend line break and a move back up and a turn down like this. And the reason why, and I've talked about this a few weeks ago, so you want to make sure you understand this. You see how this is the zero line, the MACD? I don't really, like, I don't want to look to get bearish above the zero line on the time frame. It should coincide, this should coincide with a clear break of the zero line, right? We get, so we get this to come down and then fail like that at the same time price is doing it, okay? So that's kind of what I'm on the lookout for. And the other way we can confirm a 1, 2, 3 is that we should be breaking a convincing break of the 18-day, which would mean not only a daily bar below, but we take out the low of that bar. In order to do that, most likely we're going to need a little bit more work than just a down move on the hourly chart. So that's kind of the way I think about this. Now, in terms of the target, so I've already talked about the upside targets around 6,000 up to this, the highs basically, right? Without a lot of momentum in place. If I think about, let's say this does roll down on the daily chart, I would be looking at the 18 week, which is at 570, and the 18 month, which is around 557. So that's kind of the range I'd be watching for. The first order of business is to see how this handles the 570 level, the weekly line. When you break 118, you look at the next 18. So we can go back to this chart and we can look at the different 18s on here, and you can see that if we break, in fact, let's switch this over to the daily chart. So if we were to break the daily 18, you can see where the next line is. This is a great little tool. I use on a daily chart, I've got my 18 and then I've got a 90 to represent the 18 on the weekly, and then a 360 to represent the 18-month line. And if you think about it, if this were to break the 18-day, then the next target area would be somewhere around the 18-week. And then if that were to break, then we'd be looking at the 18-month. The fact that this line is still declining means that, we could end up meeting up somewhere in the middle. But the bottom line is we've got enough going wrong in the short term, and it just looks a little tired that maybe we finally break this 18-day after the move back up, in late April. Maybe we finally break this line and get a decent test. So that'd probably be what I'd be on the lookout for. Now, I've been saying the same thing over and over again to my subscribers, which is be more individually stock focused. I know this whole thing I do on Fridays is on the S&P, and yeah, it can be really helpful and can help you understand the type of environment we're in and everything. But the reality is sometimes the market is a little less important, and look for individual stocks that meet your criteria, that have good risk reward and good triggers. And if you do that and you follow your money management plan, you're going to be okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll see you next time.